Hello, everyone. This is Ali Merchant here, the founder of TWT Learning. TWT Learning provides financial market education and research and advisory. So today is 5th of January, and it's about 23 minutes past 9 p.m. Eastern Time. First of all, I wish you all a very successful, happy, prosperous 2026, and I wish you all the best in your investing and trading this year. There will be a lot of opportunities. Market is showing some volatility at the very beginning, and it seems like this year will be pretty volatile, and volatility brings opportunities, right? If you know the right approach. So if you know the approach, if you know the how to find the high probability trade ideas, how to find the high probability investment ideas, combining three-dimensional approach, which we teach, which is a combination of analytical technique and market psychology, and comes down to risk management. Within the analytical technique, we do look at fundamentals, economic indicators. We look at the money flow. We look at the option flow. We look at the seasonality. So these are the 4 or 5 bases of analyzing the market. Then we rely on basically we also teach on market psychology, and then from there risk management, how to manage the risk. So all these key comes up with the robust investment and trading strategy. I'm going to start a new 4 months. I offer 4 months mentorship program, which I'm going to start from middle of January. Stay tuned. I'll be sharing some information very soon. All right, guys. So let's move on. What's happening this week? Sorry, I missed. I couldn't do any video since the 26th of December. I mean, the last one which I did was December 22nd to 26th of the week of trading week of December 22nd to 26th. So apologies for that, but again, I'm back, and I think I have a plan to do much more as time allows. But I have done recently. I've done with a lot of my friends and friend and circle groups in the a lot of investment WhatsApp group about US market economic indicators, Fed challenges. What's the outlook for Fed? I have done almost a 1 hour, 1.5 hour webinar on that. If anybody wants to get the access to that one, I have sent it in all the WhatsApp group where I am, where I am part of it. But if you are not part of the WhatsApp group, and if you would like to receive that webinar, please feel free to reach out to me on admin@twtlearning.com. So it's admin@twtlearning.com. The easiest way is if you go to twtlearning.com. Okay, here you will find my the TWT social media presence, right? So what you will find here is on the home page. Actually, you will find testimonials of the guys that they've taken the training from us. And then if you go to About Us, and you will find out about myself. I'm the founder, Ali Merchant. For my bio, I'm writing with investing.com and fxtreet.com. You can click and go to read my stories. You can go here. This is our email address, admin@twtlearning.com, or you can reach out to me on +1 647 955 6837 through WhatsApp or text messages. Appreciate. Send me a WhatsApp message or text message. Voice call will not be. I'll not be able to take the call, but I'll appreciate either email with and I appreciate when you please reach out to me through the email admin@twtlearning.com. Kindly share with me your WhatsApp number so it can be a smooth reverting back to you instead of sending just putting on the email. So you can reach out to me on the email. You can share. Feel free to share your WhatsApp number, and I'll reply to you within 24 to 48 hours maximum. This is my WhatsApp number. This is my admin@twtlearning.com. So if you're interested in getting the webinar, access to that webinar, I'll be happy to share with you. Right. So let's go. And I haven't done any podcasts recently, but I'm planning to do very soon. These are the last podcasts I've done. So let's, without spending more time, let's go here. Okay. So first thing, Consumer Electronics Show, the largest consumer electronics show in the U.S. in Las Vegas is going to start from tomorrow. So there was the pre-notes today from NVIDIA, Chief of CEO of NVIDIA, AMD. So that has gone. Now, what is on the economic indicator agenda? So what we have tomorrow is FOMC, Bakken member speaking tomorrow, final services PMI, and then on Wednesday we have ADP non-farm payroll at 8:30, ISM services PMI at 10 o'clock, which is the key number, job opening numbers, which is the key number. So right at the moment, Fed focus is on jobs because in October, during the shutdown, when the October job report, non-farm payroll report came in, it was minus 150K job creation. And in November, the market actually reversed to plus 64K. So market has players or investor does not have a lot of confidence on the data which came after the 43 days of shutdown. So this is going to be the January data, which is December employment number, is going to be one of the data which everybody will be looking at. And that is coming on 9th of January. Non-farm payroll, average hourly rates, unemployment rates, everybody will be looking at 9th of January. And then we have preliminary University of Michigan consumer sentiments number, then UM, University of Michigan, inflation expectations. So Friday is the key day. Another thing to keep in mind is from 13th off from the week, next week, it's the Q4 earnings season is going to kick in, and there will be a lot of interesting opportunities. So stay tuned, guys, and let's see what is happening. So let me share. Okay, you know, guys, that first of all, thank you very much for following me on YouTube, Twitter, following me on my website and all that articles I'm producing for investing.com and fxstreet.com. Thank you very much again. And if you are not, guys, I can humbly request that follow me on YouTube. I produced actionable ideas on Twitter, YouTube. Go follow me on investing.com articles and fxstreet.com articles. It's interesting, and it's going to be interesting times. And I do produce actually actionable ideas. So every week, every Friday, I produce market probability map. According to what I think for this week, or my research is suggesting for the week of 5th to 9th of this January. Today, mixed day, mixed to bearish, then bullish on 7th, and then we have sort of a bearish day. I mean, I would say bearish to mix or mixed to bearish. I would say bearish to mix in a way on 8th of January, and then mixed day on 9th of January, right? So kindly follow this. 75% to 80% of the time, these probability maps are correct. So it will help you in taking a directional trade, or if you want to do any intraday trade, or if you want to do any weekly options, or if you're doing something on the weekly basis, it will help you, right? Okay, let's go here. And I did produce something about the CES, which is the Consumer Electronics Show, right? Okay, so that's there. The other thing is, by the grace of by the grace of God, and by your following and all those guys, I have started writing weekly markets week ahead, right? And by the grace of God, I'm one of the, among all these guys, I am now on the most popular stories, right? So you click here, go to analysis, go to most popular stories, and you will find me Monday to Tuesday, at least for a couple of days. From Monday, once I file it, you will find me part of here. And then if you click here, you can click on, if you click here, let me show you what I produce here. Every Monday morning, it's there. So I give you the key highlights. What is happening? So gold and silver were high yesterday. Crude was a little down. What happened to Dow Jones Future? And we'll see a conference. Then what is the agenda of the conference? What is happening? Any earnings? Again, you can see U.S. economic data, and then I produce the entire data over here. Let me see if I can expand. Yeah. So if I expand this one, you can see the entire calendar over here, right? Let me go back to normal. Okay. And then you can see what I'm looking at from the earnings point of view, large corporation point of view, and then I put technical analysis view on Dow Jones, NASDAQ, and S&P 500. and market probability map, and I explain what my thoughts are about market probability maps. Okay, let's go to, thank you very much. Let's look at futures. So what is the futures market doing? Futures market, this is NASDAQ futures, MNQ, micro E-mini, NASDAQ. It's moving in a range between 25,861 to 24,543. I will just focus on this range until and unless this range is broken, right? So that's what I'm looking at. Let's go to S&P futures. On the front of S&P futures is also ranging, but sitting at the top end of the range. And S&P all-time high is almost 6995. So there was a lot of expectation that the market will close around 7K on S&P end of last year, but it couldn't. Now let's see what happens here. So I'll focus on this range at the moment, right? This one also looks like more of a range trade. I have noticed some unusual activity on the options on VIX. Somewhere in the mid to late part of February, there were some 20 calls bought on VIX, 20, 25, and 20, 22, and 30 calls. So market is anticipating some sort of volatility going higher. So once the volatility goes higher, VIX goes higher, S&P comes down, right? So let's say what happens here in QQQ. Let's look at the triple Q. NASDAQ 100 ETF, holding this line, but then challenging this. So this holding this rising line, but challenging a strong resistance at 626. That's where it failed last time, then it came down. So that is key to remember, 626. 626 could be a magic number. In the case of SPY, sitting at the top end of the range and holding this trend line, and let me see what is the top end of the range. Let me take this, let me put it here, right? This is basically hovering between this one. It breaks this one, then we have more room on the upside. If it doesn't break, it goes choppy in this one. The side it breaks is the direction, in my opinion. All right, let's go and let's look at some of the key charts. Tesla. I mentioned to you on my Twitter when Tesla was about 480, 490, and I said there's some most likely rejection going to come. Please check on my Twitter. And I was expecting Tesla to come down remain between 490, 470, and 450. So we have actually come down on Tesla. We are sitting at the support, so we have held the support so far. You see here, we held the support, we went higher, came back, further higher. We are in between the Friday's range. Let's see. I still think that probably Tesla is still going to be range between 450 to 460, 65, and 470. All right. Let's look at Nvidia. I mean, a lot of guys in the social media was expecting Nvidia making top head and shoulder. It will drop, but so far I was on the other side of this whole community, and I was thinking my thought process was that Tesla rejects or Tesla fails a lot of head and shoulders. So let's see what happens. So far it was like I'm talking about when it was about. We are talking about head and shoulders, so we are talking about here, right? So everybody is expecting it to go down, and I was expecting it to go higher. Even if this is suppose left shoulder, left shoulder, and then head, and this is the right shoulder. So far we have failed. So we'll see what happens. Tesla is actually Nvidia is actually sitting at 185. 185, I have told you guys many times, I've mentioned this many times, 185 is the magic number for Nvidia. It holds 185, it tends to go towards 195 or 195 and 200. Today, yes, we have come down, but we have held this trend line. We moved higher from this trend line. Tomorrow, this trend line comes at 186, 185. If we hold this one, probably we are going to break on the upside. Right. Let's see what happens in the CES, which is the Consumer Electronics Show. All right, let's come to AMD. AMD, I mentioned this in my previous calls on the YouTube that AMD has broken this rising channel. We have made a double bottom. We are testing this channel. We tested this channel today, which is around 230, 232, and let's see what happens. Can it break? We'll see. Again, CES will give us a lot of directional move, right? Let's look at Alphabet. Alphabet, I told you guys, I mentioned this one in one of my videos earlier, that Alphabet broke this trend line. It was vulnerable to come down. We have seen a down move. We came back. We actually be trading above this gap. There is a possibility that Alphabet can go back to 330. Okay, guys, let's say Broadcom. Now, Broadcom dropped after, Broadcom went higher immediately post-earning, pre-earning, and immediately post-earning, and then it dropped. And it has made it almost a double bottom sort of a thing, and it's slowly, gradually crawling higher. I still believe that AVGO can go back to 365, 370, but at the gradual base. Right, let's go to Apple. I have mentioned Apple in my webinar as well, and here that Apple has broken this channel. Apple is coming down to this support, which is around at 266, 267. We break this support, we are coming back to coming down to 258. By the way, Apple seasonality pattern of going higher from September, early September to mid-December is over. Now Apple is going to be on a little bit on the selling side. It will be sold, actually. There'll be selling pressure on Apple. Let's come to Microsoft. Microsoft is moving inside, very nice rectangular formation. We are at the base of the rectangle. We hold this rectangle, we can go back to 495. All right, what do we have here? Okay, Amazon. So I cover all these stocks whenever I do my weekly call. Amazon broke this trend line into a range, but it's a good closing today. I think Amazon has the room to go back to 236 to 38. And that's okay. And let's look at Bitcoin. So I did put on my Twitter, when the Bitcoin was going nicely dropping in this channel, it broke through this channel, did a range, came back. Now it has come across a strong resistance here around 94.5, 94.5 to 95K. We may see a pullback. Right. Let's look at gold. Although I write about on gold on fxstreet.com, so guys, if you're not following, do please follow. I put all those stories on my Twitter account. I share it with most of the WhatsApp group as well. So gold has held this line, support line, rising line. Gold broke, so it retested the previous all-time high, made a new high, came back, retested. There's a possibility that the gold, maybe with the geopolitical scene or geopolitical temperature very high these days, there's the possibility of gold going back to 45K, 4,500. Okay. So what else we have? We have crude. So I have mentioned this in my previous call that crude is rejecting this trend line. Even with what happened with Venezuela and everything, a lot of guys were expecting crude to go higher. It hasn't happened, but until and unless it breaks 59, we are out of selling pressure. If it doesn't hold, if it test or break and fail to sustain, and then we are coming down to 55. That's the range for crude at the moment. US dollar index, we have talked a lot about it. US dollar index is holding this line, which is 98 to 98 to 99 to 100. On the downside, 96.5. Okay, US Treasury yields, 10-year bonds. We have broken this trend line, white. We have broken this yellow trend line. We are retesting that trend line, 4.17, 4.20. I think we are going to see, again, in my opinion, my research suggests that we have another rate cut coming in January. The market is still not expecting, but we'll see what happens with the employment number on Friday, and I will do a video next week, early next week, to give my thoughts about what is the US interest rate outlook is like. That's all from my side, guys. Have a wonderful evening, wonderful trading week. I wish you all the best. If you are not following me on Twitter, YouTube, and Twitter, YouTube, or my website, please do so. Share and in your network and spread the word, guys. I'm going to start 4 months mentorship program in the middle of January. I'm going to bring the flyer soon, and I'll stay in touch with you. Have a wonderful evening, guys. Take care.